Hi, I'm Aaron Carter, Managing Editor of American Rifleman, and this week we're in frigid Anoka, Minnesota to get a first-hand look at shotshell production. Just to give you an idea of the scale of shotshell production here at Federal Premium, these silos behind me hold 200,000 pounds of plastic pellets. So let's go inside and take a look at how these shells are produced.
We make our components. We don't, we buy certain things, but basically we make our components. And we like that because we can control the tolerances of the primers, the wads, the shot. It's exactly what we make, so we know exactly what we're getting when we're making the full-up round. So I think that's a big feature for us, and we're setting up these loads with components that we know in and out and we make every day. I think it's very important to bring out a product that you know from top to bottom.
So when we, develop a new load, there's a lot of things that it's just not terminal performance we look at. So we've got to shoot P&Vs, or pressure and velocities. We shoot those up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit down to -20. So we're looking for the extreme scenarios and we expect the round to perform. So that's just some gates you even have to get through, plus you got to shoot the wad at those conditions. So you jump through all these functional gates and then you finally can shoot some patterns. And so what we've brought to our technology is the high-speed camera. So when you sort of see the high speed, we can look and get very close to how the wad separates from the gun system. So we can sort of understand that exact point at that highest velocity, what the shot's doing in relationship to the wad.
I'm here with Tim Brandt, Federal Premium's Communications Manager. Now Tim, obviously the first step is getting the plastic pellets into the silos from the train car. Now what's the next step in shotshell production?
Sure, we're going to take a look at the whole process here, and like you mentioned, it started outside. Now we're going to be in here. We've got the Rifleman machines, and what those do are those extrude out our plastic hulls. So we're going to start from there. I'm going to hand you off to the experts to let them show you the steps, but it should be a great chance for your viewers to get a chance to see what all goes into making a shot shell.
So when we tailor a load, it's to a specific application. So a trap shooter, we'll adjust the alloy concentration so we get the certain hardness we're looking for, because with hardness comes a price. So if you're a typical trap shooter shooting large volumes, the hardness of the shot will be reduced a little bit to try to get the right price point for what the customer is looking for. And then as you get into the premium market, sort of the hunting loads, you get much harder lead. And so the harder lead comes better patterns, less shot deformation. You can move them faster and not implement or change the patterns. So that's where, shot hardness comes in a factor.
I'm here with mechanical adjuster Patrick Smith, and obviously behind me, these big machines are the progressive cuppers. Now, can you explain what you're doing right here?
Well, right now I'm taking our 20 gauge cup and I'm checking the head diameter to make sure that that is correct. I'm also checking the height of the cup, and I'm checking the metal thickness to make sure that is correct. I also check to make sure that the steel is functional and that it will not split open. I'm also doing a visual to make sure I can read my head stamp and I have a nice clean looking shell. Okay. So I'll go through that process, one off of each position in the machine. I'm making 5 per stroke.
Okay. So every batch you do, you go through and make sure they all pass this test.
Right.
When we see something new out there, a new opportunity, whether it be in the waterfall world, in the target shooting world, we find an application, an opportunity to make something different and really search that out and make sure our engineers, our development people, our marketing folks are out there spending time in the field and understanding that market and really filling a need instead of just putting another product out there.
Can't get enough American Rifleman? Check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
I'm here with line lead Brian Gruber. Okay, now can you explain what is this process right here?
Well, this is a wad winder. You just turn it on. As the paper is being fed down, there's 2 rollers in the middle that pushes the paper down into a spindle. It has a little slot in there, and every time it goes, the servo motor is underneath that guard spins the paper to the side of the bushing that we have in there. Okay.
What's the advantage of a paper-based wad versus, say, an integral plastic-based?
With the paper-based one, you got more options. You can use them because we have so many different loads. There's so many variables that we have. We have different thicknesses of paper, and we can just do a lot more with the paper for our loads.
A typical wad, if you've seen it, they basically slit it from the front, and when it opens up in the airstream, the shot comes out. We have a technology which we call the flight control wad, which switches it around where we actually open up the back of the wad. That stays and controls the shot column when it separates and gives us much tighter patterns.
And a few minutes ago, you showed me how the base wad was being inserted into the tube. Can you explain what's going on in this phase?
All right, here, our wads are getting fed into the header. It gets fed into the turnover dial, and it gets fed into an individual pin. It goes around through multiple detects. It gets the cup put on, the primer inserted, and then we have a buncher that heads everything down, snatches everything down into our spec.
Basically, after this phase, everything is completed and it's ready for loading.
Yes.
Now, are there quality checks in this machine built into it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wait. We have to do 20 checks as soon as we come in, every tip change. We have 20 checks every hour, and then there's multiple detects on the header itself.
The flight stopper shot that we brought to the market, it actually has a ring around the outside. So if you look at the diameter, it's slightly bigger, it has an edge to it. And we brought that in particular to try to change our patterns, try to change lethality. And we actually ratioed that, and we did it in black cloud or waterfowl load. And it was a very good success. And we actually kept continuing that, and we took that to the pheasant hunter. So we've got our Prairie Storm, which takes not necessarily steel, but the lead version with it, and ratios the two round pellets in that. Again, just shooting patterns, looking at the pattern distribution, trying to get what the hunting application is looking for.
Obviously, shot is an integral part of Shotshell. So I'm here with Rodney Stay, an adjuster for Federal Premium, and he's going to explain to you how shot is made at the Anoka, Minnesota factory.
Okay, as you can see, lead comes in an ingot form. They're 60 to 65 pound blocks. You pick them up and throw them into the pot. The pot melts them down at 800 degrees. From there, it's pumped up into an overflow pot, which controls the level, helps control the level in the head. And it drips down through, comes down on the boards, and it comes down into water. Water will naturally help form it into a complete circle or a perfect circle. From there, it goes up the elevator into a dryer. It's in the dryer a few minutes, goes down into the classifier there. From there, it goes into a polishing drum, which grinds it, polishes it down to size. From there, it goes into a screening drum.
Obviously, the key difference here is you're using water to cool it versus air in the drop cell.
Basically today, in today's environment too, there's a lot of ammunition business out there. We could keep ourselves busy all day making just generic product, but we pride ourselves in the premium customized type product, meaning our engineers, the people in the factory, or people in our marketing department, we are actually hunters and shooters. We spend a lot of time in the field, out there with our consumers, and try to find out what's unique out there, something that a consumer would really think is something special and different in the ammunition business. And that's where we develop different loads customized for specific applications.
I'm here with Mark Roders of manufacturing, and as you can see by the contents of this container, we're at the final step of the assembly process. We began with plastic pellets quite some time ago. We've gone all the way through the hull manufacturing. Now we're at the final step. Explain what's going on here.
Right here is, we're loading the final product. We're dropping the powder. We're putting the shot, cup in, metered shot. We're running the buffer. We're detecting it, and we're putting the type on it, and then it goes into the bin, and then it goes to the packaging area.
And that's where they're going to do the final inspection before it's
Exactly. Okay. Exactly.
And then from there, it goes to the store shelves where you'll be using it on the range or in the field.